Welcome to the N-Tune installation video for guitars and basses with single coil pickups. The new N-Tune onboard chromatic tuner is the world's best solution for fast and accurate tuning. Conveniently mounted within the guitar, the N-Tune is simple to use, and because of its true bypass design, it does not affect the tone of your instrument in any way. It will help if you have a copy of your N-Tune manual to supplement this video, as it contains more detailed information about the install. We strongly recommend that you have an experienced guitar technician install the N-Tune, especially if you have never done electronic work on your guitar.
Find a suitable, safe location to work on your guitar that will not scratch the finish and will allow for a secure placement of the instrument while you are working on it. If your guitar has a whammy bar, remove it before starting the installation. It may be easier to remove the strings before the installation to allow easy access to the back side of the pickguard. Remove the knob from the volume pot. Remove the pickguard mounting screws, making sure that you store them in a safe place for easy retrieval. Carefully remove the pickguard from the guitar. Make a drawing of the current wiring configuration. On some Strat models, you may notice that the N-Tune display ring can interfere with access to a portion of the pickup adjustment screw that is adjacent to the volume control. Depending on the particular guitar, accessing this screw for pickup height adjustment may require temporary removal of the N-Tune display ring and circuit board. Also, be aware that there are different types of screws for this function. A new flathead countersunk pickup adjustment screw has been provided in the N-Tune accessory bag. This screw will work for some Strat models to keep the N-Tune display disc flush with the pickguard. Please refer to the warning on page 8 of the N-Tune manual before replacing this screw. Remove the existing volume pot by loosening the nut with a nut driver or pliers. Get the new N-Tune pot assembly and check to make sure that the hole from the old pot is large enough for the N-Tune pot. Desolder the ground leads from the chassis of the old pot. Then desolder the hot leads from the pot terminals and remove the old pot. On the N-Tune pot assembly, tin the terminal connections of terminal M of the pot and terminal 5 of the switch. Find the hot lead of the output jack and wire it to terminal M of the N-Tune pot assembly and trim any excess wire length. Find the lead from the pickup switch and wire it to terminal 5 of the N-Tune switch and trim any excess wire length. Next, solder the ground leads that were on the old pot chassis to terminal L and or to the chassis ground terminal of the N-Tune pot assembly, whichever is more convenient. Now test the output of the guitar by plugging it into an amp. Make sure the N-Tune pot switch is in the down position and the volume control of the guitar is turned up. You can tap on the pickups with a screwdriver and you should hear the tapping through the amp. Get the provided C-washer and place it on the pot assembly so that the orientation of the circuit board ribbon cable will allow for the proper viewing angle of the LEDs.
Feed the ribbon cable of the circuit board through the hole in the pick guard. Then put the pot in the same hole, being very careful not to pinch the ribbon cable. Place the end-tune plastic colored disc of your choice over the circuit board, and then put the plain washer and pot nut on the pot shaft, hand tightening it so that the assembly is held in place. Do not tighten this nut with a nut driver yet, because you may want to make some angle adjustments. Attach one side of the provided Velcro strips to the back of the battery holder and clip the battery into the holder. Find a suitable location in the guitar for the battery that does not interfere with any wires and sits below the level of the pick guard. Connect the white JST connector from the ribbon cable to the JST connector from the pot assembly. You can now test your connections by pulling the pot switch out, and the end-tune LED startup sequence should display with all of the LEDs lighting up and flashing. If the LEDs light up, you should now be able to begin the reassembly of the guitar. If they don't light, go back and check all solder joints and connections and make sure they're all good and follow the previous steps. Be especially careful that no wires are running under the end-tune pot assembly, as this can cause the pick guard to bend. This is because the end-tune pot assembly is much deeper than the original volume pot, so be sure that the wires are run safely throughout the guitar cavity. Be on the lookout for loose wires that may have broken off during the installation, and refer to your wiring diagram for their proper placement and resolder as needed. If everything is working okay, you can now reassemble the guitar to a playable condition. Make sure all wires are neatly tucked into the cavity in the guitar, and be careful that no wires get pinched or broken. It may take a few tries to get everything seated properly and for the pick guard to be flush and flat with no bulges. Once the pick guard is flush, put the pick guard screws back in and tighten accordingly. Install the knob on the end-tune pot. If you removed your strings, you can replace them now. Test the end-tune by pulling the knob out. When the lights stop flashing, just pluck a string and adjust the tuning gear until the green tuned icon lights up for the note that you want for each respective string. So there you have it. Be sure to read your end-tune manual completely for all of the details needed to properly install your end-tune. For additional technical information, guitar compatibility, and updates, please visit our website at www.entune.com.